This video is about she was just a nanny until a rich woman gave her a fortune. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the quaint town of Maplewood, where picket fences lined the streets and flowers bloomed in abundance, stood a charming little house that echoed with laughter and childhood wonder. Within its cozy walls lived a kind-hearted single mother, Clara, and her spirited young daughter, Lily. Clara worked tirelessly, juggling 2 jobs to provide for her little family, but her heart always yearned for more time with Lily, who was just 6 years old. Clara had taken a leap of faith when she hired Aisha, a gentle and nurturing nanny. Aisha, with her warm smile and nurturing spirit, had a natural gift with children. She had moved to Maplewood in search of a fresh start after facing her own share of heartaches. Aisha carried the weight of her past lightly, although it was an anchor that sometimes pulled her down. "Mommy, can we make cookies today?" Lily asked one sunny afternoon, tugging at Clara's sleeve as they gathered near the kitchen. It was a typical scene, filled with the aroma of home-cooked meals wafting through the air. "How about we wait for Aisha to join us? She asked the best baker, isn't she?" Clara suggested, glancing at the clock. It was nearly time for Aisha to arrive, and the thought brought a smile to her face. When Aisha walked in, her hair pulled back in a loose bun and a fresh batch of energy surrounding her, Lily squealed with delight. "Aisha, can we make cookies?" "Absolutely, but first, we need to wash our hands," Aisha said, moving to the sink and filling up an oversized bowl with soapy water. The simple task turned into a playful affair, with splashes of water and giggles filling the room. Clara watched them, her heart swelling with gratitude. Aisha had become a part of the small family, not just a caregiver. She infused the home with joy, kindness, and the feeling of belonging. Clara often wondered how a woman so resilient could have faced struggles of her own yet radiated strength. One evening, while they sat around the dining table sharing a meal, Clara noticed Aisha quietly pushing her food around her plate. "Aisha, is everything okay?" she asked, concern etching her brow. Aisha looked up, her eyes reflecting a mixture of emotions. "I am okay, just a bit tired. It has been a long week." Her voice was calm, but Clara could sense the storm beneath it. "You know, you can talk to us about anything," Clara encouraged gently. "We'll be here for you." Aisha offered a small smile, appreciating Clara's kindness but feeling the weight of her own struggles. She had been saving every penny, hoping to start a small bakery one day, but the dream felt distant. Bills piled up, and the prospect of failure loomed large. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue on Maplewood, Aisha excused herself and wandered into the backyard. The sky painted itself in vibrant shades of orange and purple, and she took deep breaths, grounding herself in the moment. She often found solace in nature, a reminder that beauty could blossom even in the most challenging times. The next day, Clara took a leap of faith and asked Aisha to join her on a trip to the farmer's market. "I thought it'd be fun for you and Lily to explore, plus, it's good to get out," she said cheerfully, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. As they walked through the bustling market, surrounded by fresh produce and handmade goods, Aisha felt a renewed sense of hope. They stumbled upon a stall selling exquisite pastries. "Oh, Aisha, look at those!" Lily exclaimed, her eyes wide with delight. "Let us get one to share," Clara suggested, and Aisha felt her heart swell at the thought of creating memories. They gathered around a small picnic table to enjoy the treat, and in that moment of laughter and sweetness, Aisha felt a flicker of her dream reignite. Days turned into weeks, and Aisha grew closer to Clara and Lily. They celebrated small milestones, like Lily learning to tie her shoes and Clara finally getting a promotion at work. Each shared moment helped Aisha feel less alone. One rainy afternoon, while Aisha played board games with Lily, Clara received an unexpected phone call. A wealthy friend, Evelyn, was organizing a charity gala and needed help. "Clara, I want you to be my right hand. We were also supporting local businesses, and I know you've got a knack for details," Evelyn urged. Clara hesitated. "I am just a nanny, Evelyn. I don't know if I can handle that." "Clara, don't sell yourself short. You have such a beautiful spirit and a way with people. I believe in you," Evelyn insisted, her voice warm and encouraging. Taking a deep breath, Clara agreed. She would tackle this challenge head-on, fueled by her desire to provide a better life for Lily and Aisha. But she didn't realize just how much this opportunity would change all their lives. As preparations for the gala began, Clara enlisted Aisha's help, knowing her creativity and eye for detail would shine. They spent sleepless nights crafting decorations, planning menus, and coordinating guests. The bond between them deepened as they shared hopes, dreams, and the weight of their pasts. One evening, while sorting through floral arrangements, Aisha finally opened up about her aspirations. "I've always wanted to start my own bakery," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "But it feels impossible." "Why? You have the talent and the heart. Maybe this gala could be your chance to let people taste what you can create," Clara suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We could make a dessert table together." Aisha's heart raced. The idea of sharing her passion felt both thrilling and terrifying. "But what if no one likes it?" she asked, doubt creeping in. "Then we'll all learn and grow from it, but you won't know unless you try," Clara encouraged, her voice steady with conviction. As the gala approached, Aisha poured her heart into creating a selection of pastries that reflected her journey, each layer representing her resilience, each flavor a testament to her perseverance. Clara stood by her, offering support and encouragement, believing in her every step of the way. On the night of the gala, the atmosphere crackled with excitement. Guests arrived in elegant attire, sipping champagne and mingling amidst the twinkling lights. Aisha's pastries were the centerpiece, each piece more beautiful than the last. When the first guests tasted the treats, Aisha stood nervously nearby, her heart pounding in her chest. She watched as their eyes lit up in delight, laughter mingling with compliments. It was a moment she longed for but never dared to hope for. Evelyn, noticing Aisha's nervousness, approached her with a warm smile. "You did this, Aisha. You created magic," she said, her voice filled with warmth. But Aisha's eyes were still clouded with uncertainty. "What if it's just a lucky night?" she mused, her doubts creeping back in. "Lucky or not, you have talent, and the world deserves to see it," Evelyn replied firmly. "This is just the beginning." With each passing hour, Aisha felt a wave of confidence wash over her, fueled by the joy of sharing her creations. Clara cheered her on from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride for the woman who had become like family. As the night wore on, Aisha found herself at the center of conversations, laughter, and praises. She had transformed from a woman battling her past into a beacon of hope for others, a symbol of resilience. When the gala finally came to a close, Clara looked over at Aisha, who stood glowing with newfound confidence. "You were amazing tonight," Clara beamed, pulling her into a warm hug. "I can't believe I did it," Aisha whispered, tears of joy in her eyes. "Thank you for believing in me." As the evening ended, Clara and Aisha stepped outside into the cool night air, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves around them. They looked up at the starry sky, a reminder of the countless possibilities that lay ahead. "I think this is the start of something beautiful," Clara said, her voice filled with hope. "Yes," Aisha agreed, her heart brimming with joy. "It feels like my dreams are finally within reach." And so, under the vast expanse of the starlit sky, two hearts filled with hope began to weave a tapestry of dreams, a journey that would lead them to a world where resilience, kindness, and perseverance shone brightly, illuminating the path ahead. As dawn broke over Maplewood, the sun cast a warm glow over the little house, illuminating the kitchen where Clara and Lily prepared breakfast. The air was filled with the delicious aroma of pancakes sizzling on the griddle. Aisha entered, her hair flowing loosely, her smile filled with a newfound radiance. "Good morning," Aisha greeted, her voice bright with enthusiasm. "What's cooking?" "Pancakes, your favorite," Lily exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "And we saved some for you." As they sat around the table, laughter echoed through the room. Clara noticed a subtle change in Aisha. The weight she had carried for so long seemed lighter. The success of the gala had ignited a spark within her, a flame of possibility that Clara found breathtaking. After breakfast, Clara and Aisha gathered in the living room, brainstorming ideas for Aisha's bakery. Clara had taken it upon herself to research possible locations and business plans. "What do you envision for your bakery?" she asked, her eyes gleaming with encouragement. "I want it to be a place where people feel at home, where they can create memories over warm pastries," Aisha replied, her voice gaining strength. "Maybe a section for kids to bake with their parents." "Perfect, you could even offer baking classes," Clara suggested, jotting down notes excitedly. "Classes?" Aisha's eyes widened, a flicker of doubt creeping in. "But what if no one wants to learn from me?" "Why wouldn't they? You're an incredible baker." Clara asserted firmly, her passion infectious. "This is your chance to share your gift. Remember, you've already made a name for yourself." Aisha took a deep breath, the warmth of Clara's words wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. "Okay, I'll think about it," she said, although part of her still hesitated. Days turned into weeks, filled with planning and excitement. Aisha delved into her dream, creating a vision board with photos of pastel-colored pastries, cozy seating areas, and children baking joyfully. With Clara as support, she reached out to local suppliers and began scouting for a location. However, the journey was not without its hurdles. One evening, Aisha found herself staring at the mountain of bills that had piled up. Doubt crept in, whispering doubts that had haunted her for years. She felt like a tightrope walker suspended between hope and fear. Aisha? Clara's voice broke into her thoughts. Can I come in? Sure, Clara, Aisha replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Clara entered, concern etched on her face as she noticed Aisha's furrowed brow. What is going on? I am just overwhelmed, Aisha admitted, her voice trembling. What if I fail? What if I can't make this work? The bills are piling up, and I am scared of taking this leap. Clara sat beside her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. It's okay to feel scared. The unknown is daunting for everyone, but remember what you did at the gala. You faced your fears there and shone brightly. But that was just one night, Aisha replied, her eyes downcast. What if I don't have what it takes to sustain it? Aisha, you are more than capable. You've been nurturing children with love and creativity. You can do this, Clara encouraged, her voice steady and filled with warmth. You've already overcome so much. Aisha looked up, meeting Clara's gaze. The sincerity in her eyes ignited a flicker of hope. You really believe in me, don't you? Absolutely, Clara affirmed, pulling Aisha into a gentle embrace. And I'll be here every step of the way. With renewed determination, Aisha began to tackle her fears. She reached out to business mentors, attended workshops, and immersed herself in learning. Each step felt like a mountain climb, but Clara stood beside her, cheering her on. One afternoon, as they sorted through Aisha's baking supplies, Clara said, I have an idea to promote your bakery. Let us host a community baking day, invite families to come together and create something delicious. That sounds wonderful, Aisha exclaimed, her heart swelling with gratitude. But what if they don't show up? Then we'll find other ways to engage the community, Clara said, her smile unwavering. But I believe the world needs to see what you can offer. With Clara's faith in her, Aisha organized the event. She prepared a variety of recipes, creating an inviting atmosphere filled with colorful decorations and fragrant treats. As the day approached, excitement mingled with anxiety, and Aisha paced her kitchen, the echo of her doubts returning. On the morning of the event, Aisha stood before the bakery's entrance, her heart racing as she set up the tables. Clara arrived early, her arms filled with freshly baked goods. You're going to be amazing, Clara said, her voice a soothing balm. Just breathe and remember, you're doing this for the joy of baking and the connections it creates. As families began to arrive, Aisha's heart soared. Laughter filled the air, and soon children were flour-covered and giggling as they stood battered and rolled there. She watched, overwhelmed by the beauty of the moment, and felt the sense of belonging she had longed for. You're natural. Clara cheered as Aisha guided a group of children in making cupcakes. Aisha smiled, her fears melting away as she engaged with the participants, sharing stories and creating lasting memories. The initial anxiety transformed into joy, and she found herself fully present in the moment. After the baking day concluded, Aisha received glowing feedback from families who had participated. Thank you for today. It was incredible, one mother exclaimed, her face beaming with happiness. We'll definitely be back. In the weeks that followed, Aisha's bakery slowly began to gain traction. Word of mouth spread like wildfire, and soon her little shop was bustling with families eager to create sweet memories. Clara continued to support her, helping with marketing and lending a listening ear whenever doubts seeped in. But just as things began to stabilize, a storm loomed on the horizon. Aisha received a letter from her landlord, stating that the rent would increase significantly. Panic struck her heart. Clara, I don't know if I can handle this. What if we can't afford it? Clara took a deep breath, her heart aching for Aisha. Let us brainstorm solutions together. We've faced challenges before and we can do it again. They sat together, poring over finances and potential adjustments. Every idea felt like an uphill battle, but Aisha felt the warmth of Clara's unwavering support. Maybe I could offer more baking classes to bring in extra income, Aisha suggested. Yes, and we could host theme events, perhaps a family night where people can come together and bake their favorite recipes, Clara added, her excitement palpable. As they crafted a plan, Aisha felt a surge of hope. They worked tirelessly, pouring their hearts into promoting the new events. The looming threat of the rent increase transformed into motivation, and soon, families flocked to Aisha's bakery, eager to participate in the joyful experiences she offered. One sunny Saturday, as Aisha prepared for the day's activities, she received a surprise visitor. Evelyn, her friend from the gala, stepped in with a warm smile. I heard about your baking classes, and I am here to sign up. I want to support you. Aisha's heart swelled with gratitude. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Your support means the world to me. As the weeks passed, the bakery blossomed. Aisha felt a sense of community envelop her, a tapestry woven from shared stories, laughter, and friendship. She began to understand the true essence of her dream. It wasn't just about baking, it was about connection and creating a safe haven for those who entered. One evening, as Aisha watched families enjoy her treats, she felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. Clara joined her, their eyes sparkling as they took in the scene. It is beautiful, isn't it? Clara said, her voice filled with warmth. Yes, it is, Aisha replied, her heart full. I never imagined it could feel this way. As they shared a moment of reflection, Clara placed her hand on Aisha's shoulder. You've built this from your heart, your resilience, your kindness. It shines through everything you do. With a newfound sense of strength, Aisha realized that her journey hadn't just been about her dreams. It had been about the bonds formed, the people touched, and the shared experiences that brought light into their lives. She was no longer just a nanny. She was a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience, and a source of joy for her community. As sunset painted the sky in brilliant hues, Aisha turned to Clara, her eyes sparkling with determination. I want to do more. I want to give back. Clara's smile widened. What do you have in mind? I'd like to start a program for at-risk youth in our community, teaching them baking skills and instilling confidence. I want to show them that they can create something wonderful, just like I did. Clara's heart swelled with pride. That is an incredible idea, Aisha. We can host events, partner with local organizations. I'll help you every step of the way. As they stood together, illuminated by the waning light, Aisha felt saying. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the night sky began to twinkle with stars, each one a reminder of the journey Aisha had embarked upon. With Clara's unwavering support, she had transformed her dreams into reality, but the road ahead still presented challenges that would test her resilience. The next morning, Aisha woke with a renewed sense of purpose. The idea of starting a program for at-risk youth filled her with excitement and trepidation. She brewed a cup of coffee, the warm aroma wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. Sitting at her kitchen table, she opened her notebook filled with ideas and plans for the initiative. Just then, Clara entered the kitchen, her usual morning cheer brightening the room. Good morning. How are you feeling about your program idea? I am excited, but also scared, Aisha admitted, tracing her finger over the page filled with sketches of potential baking classes. What if I can't reach them? What if they don't want to learn? Clara poured herself a cup of coffee, her expression thoughtful. You've already proven that you can connect with people, Aisha. Remember how you engaged those kids at the community baking day? They were drawn to you. Aisha smiled at the memory of flour-covered faces and laughter echoing through her bakery. You're right, but working with at-risk youth feels different. Their backgrounds are often filled with challenges I can't even imagine. Exactly, which is why your story matters so much, Clara encouraged, her voice steady. You understand struggle, and that makes you relatable. You can inspire hope in them just like you did for me. Aisha's heart warmed at Clara's words. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her uncertainty lift slightly. I guess I just need to take the first step. Why not start by reaching out to local organizations? Clara suggested. They may already have programs in place, and you could partner with them. Aisha nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. That makes sense. I'll do it today. After breakfast, Aisha spent the morning researching local nonprofits and community centers. With each call she made, her confidence grew. Each conversation was a reminder of her purpose, not just to bake, but to create a safe space for young people to thrive. Later that afternoon, she met with a representative from a local youth organization, Sarah. The coffee shop buzzed with energy as they sat at a small table, eager to discuss the program. I love the idea of teaching baking skills to at-risk youth, Sarah said, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. So many of them come from tough backgrounds and need mentorship. How do you see this working? Aisha leaned forward, her excitement bubbling over. I envision a series of classes where they not only learn to bake but also build confidence and life skills. Each recipe can symbolize overcoming challenges like making bread rise after being kneaded. That is beautiful, Sarah said, nodding appreciatively. We could promote it through our outreach programs and even involve some of the youth in the planning process. As they continued to brainstorm, Aisha felt a surge of hope. Ideas flowed freely and the vision for her program began to take shape. By the end of their meeting, they had outlined a framework and set a tentative start date for the first class. Let us work together to make a difference, Sarah said, extending her hand. I believe this could have a profound impact on the kids. Aisha shook her hand, feeling the weight of their shared commitment. Thank you for believing in this. As she left the cafe, a sense of urgency filled her. Aisha rushed back to her bakery, where Clara was arranging pastries behind the counter. How did it go? Clara asked, beaming with anticipation. It went amazing. We've set a date for the first class. Aisha exclaimed, her excitement infectious. We'll plan it around the school calendar to ensure we reach as many kids as possible. Clara clapped her hands together, her eyes dancing with joy. That's incredible. What can I do to help? I could use your organizational skills to spread the word, Aisha said, her heart swelling with gratitude. I want as many kids as possible to know about this opportunity. I am on it. Clara replied, her enthusiasm radiating. We'll create flyers, post on social media, and reach out to local schools. This is going to be huge. As the days passed, Aisha found herself enveloped in a whirlwind of preparations. Clara's support made every hurdle feel surmountable. They worked late into the night, crafting promotional materials, coordinating with Sarah, and planning the class curriculum. Finally, the day of the first class arrived. Aisha stood in her bakery, her heart racing with anticipation. The kitchen was filled with the sweet scent of vanilla and chocolate, a welcoming atmosphere for the youth who would soon arrive. As the hours ticked by, a few nervous teens trickled in, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Aisha greeted them with a warm smile, remembering her own feelings when she first walked into a kitchen filled with strangers. Welcome, everyone, I am Aisha, and today we're going to bake cookies together, she announced, her voice filled with enthusiasm. But first, let us share a little bit about ourselves. One by one, they introduced themselves, revealing snippets of their lives, from school challenges to family struggles. Aisha listened intently, her heart aching for the challenges they faced. They were raw and vulnerable, and she admired their courage. Today it's not just about baking, Aisha said as they gathered around the counter. It's about teamwork, creativity, and finding joy in the process. Just like in life, not everything will turn out perfectly, and that's okay. As they mixed the dough, Aisha noticed their initial hesitance fading. Laughter filled the room, and she felt a palpable shift. They were no longer just strangers. They were a team, united by flour and sugar, discovering freedom in the kitchen. One girl, Mia, raised her hand. Can we make a batch for our families too? She asked, her eyes brightening with hope. Absolutely, let us make enough to share, Aisha replied, her heart swelling. The thought of creating something meaningful for their loved ones became a catalyst for connection. As the cookies baked, they sat down to chat, and Aisha felt an incredible bond forming. She shared her own story, how she had faced hardships but found solace in baking. The room was filled with understanding and vulnerability, creating a safe space for everyone. I didn't think I could be good at this, one boy, Jason, admitted, his voice wavering. But it is fun. It's not about being perfect, it is about trying, Aisha said encouragingly. Just like life, you have to keep mixing it up. When the cookies emerged from the oven, the smell was heavenly. Aisha watched as the teens decorated their treats with colorful icing and sprinkles, their laughter echoing through the bakery. In that moment, she realized they were not just making cookies, they were creating memories. Let us taste them, Aisha suggested, her spirits soaring. As they munched on their creations, their eyes lit up with joy. These are amazing, Mia exclaimed, her voice filled with delight. The satisfaction in their faces was a reward Aisha had never anticipated. She felt a sense of fulfillment coursing through her connection to her past and the hope of a brighter future for these young souls. As the class wrapped up, they gathered for a group photo, arms draped around one another, smiles wide. Aisha felt a swell of pride, knowing she had opened doors for them. Thank you for sharing this day with me. You are all amazing. As the weeks turned into months, the baking classes became a cherished routine. The program flourished, attracting more youth eager to explore their creativity and sense of belonging. Aisha's bakery became a safe haven where laughter, learning, and support intermingled. On a particularly chilly afternoon, as she prepared for another class, Clara entered the bakery, her cheeks flushed from the cold. How is everything going? Clara asked, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Better than I expected, Aisha replied, her heart brimming with joy. We've had such a great turnout, and the kids are so eager to learn. That's fantastic, Clara cheered. I've been thinking we should plan a community event to showcase what they've learned, a big sale to raise funds for the program. Aisha's heart raced at the thought. That could be incredible. We can invite families and friends to support the kids and their efforts. Together, they began organizing the event. The anticipation grew with each passing day, and soon the bakery buzzed with energy as the young bakers prepared for their big moment. On the day of the bake sale, the bakery was transformed into a vibrant showcase of their hard work. Colorful tables displayed an array of treats, cookies, cupcakes, and pastries, each crafted with love and creativity. Families flocked to the bakery, their faces lighting up as they tasted the delicious creations. Aisha watched the kids beam with pride, knowing they had poured their hearts into every bite. As the event unfolded, Aisha felt a wave of emotion wash over her. The laughter of the children, the camaraderie among them, and the support from the community filled her heart. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to resilience, love, and the power of connection. The afternoon sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue across Maplewood. Aisha stood behind the counter of her bakery, her heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and pride. The bake sale was in full swing, a culmination of months of hard work and dedication poured into the program for at-risk youth. "Mommy, look, I made that one," May exclaimed, pointing to a tray of decorated cookies that sparkled with colorful icing. Her eyes shone with excitement as she bounced on her toes, eagerly waiting for Clara to join her in tasting the creations. Clara, who had been buzzing around the bakery with boundless energy, knelt beside Mia, her eyes filled with warmth. "You did such a fantastic job, sweetie. I am so proud of you." She ruffled Mia's hair affectionately, her heart swelling with pride for the young girl who had shown so much growth. "Thanks, Clara," Mia replied, her cheeks flushing with joy. She grinned as she handed Clara a cookie shaped like a star, its icing shimmering in the sunlight. "You have to try it." As Clara took a bite, she savored the sweet flavors, her eyes widening in delight. "Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I think you've got what it takes to be a professional baker one day, Mia." The laughter filled the bakery, mingling with the sweet scent of pastries that wafted through the air. Aisha stood behind the counter, her heart brimming with emotion as she watched the community come together to support the program. Families were chatting, children were giggling, and the atmosphere was infused with joy, a testament to the power of resilience and connection. "Hey, Aisha, these cookies are fantastic," Jason, one of the boys from the baking class, exclaimed as he approached the counter, a big smile plastered on his face. "I can't believe we made all of this." Aisha beamed at him, feeling a wave of pride wash over her. "You all worked incredibly hard. These treats are a reflection of your creativity and teamwork. I am so proud of each and every one of you." Jason's grin widened, his confidence visibly growing in the supportive atmosphere. "Do you think we'll raise enough money for the next class?" he asked, a hint of worry creeping into his voice. Aisha knelt beside him, meeting his gaze. "Absolutely. The community is rallying behind you, Jason. This is just the beginning. Remember, every cookie sold today is a step toward making more dreams come true." "Okay," he replied, his enthusiasm reigniting as he turned to check on his friends, who were busy serving customers. Aisha watched him go, a sense of fulfillment washing over her. She never imagined her journey would lead her to this moment, a moment where she could empower young lives and create meaningful connections. As the sale continued, Clara joined Aisha at the counter, her hands on her hips, admiration etched on her face. "You've created something truly special here, Aisha." "Thank you, Clara," Aisha replied, her voice softening. "I couldn't have done it without your support. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." Clara shook her head, her smile unwavering. "You need to understand that you've always had this light within you. It simply needed a chance to shine, and look at you now, you're inspiring these kids to find their own light." Aisha felt her heart swell, the weight of Clara's words sinking in. "I've realized that it is not just about baking, it is about building a safe space for them, a sense of belonging. I want them to know they're not alone." "Yes, and you're doing that beautifully," Clara affirmed, her voice filled with warmth. "You're giving them a platform to express themselves and to know that their dreams are valid." Just as they were sharing this heartfelt moment, a familiar face emerged through the doorway. Sarah, the representative from the youth organization, her arms filled with flowers and decorations. "Aisha, Clara, you two have done an incredible job organizing this event," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Thank you, Sarah," Aisha replied, her heart racing with appreciation. "I couldn't have done it without your support and the connections you've helped me foster." Speaking of connections, Sarah began, her voice turning more serious. "I wanted to talk to you about expanding this program. The feedback we've been receiving is overwhelmingly positive, and I think we could reach even more youth in our community." Aisha's heart danced with hope. "What do you mean expand?" "What if we offered a summer camp?" Sarah proposed, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "We could include not just baking, but also life skills workshops, mentorship opportunities, and even nutrition classes. It would be an enriching experience for the kids. Aisha's mind raced with possibilities. That sounds incredible, but can we pull it off? It feels like such a huge undertaking. Clara placed a reassuring hand on Aisha's shoulder. You've already accomplished so much. This is just the next logical step. Plus, you have the community as support. You could host fundraising events, partner with local businesses. As Clara continued to speak, Aisha felt a wave of determination wash over her. You're right. We've built something beautiful so far, and if we can help more kids, we have to try. Yes. Sarah enthused, her excitement infectious. Let us brainstorm ideas and tap into resources. This could be life-changing for so many young people. With a spark of inspiration igniting within her, Aisha felt a renewed sense of purpose. The bake sale continued to thrive, each transaction infusing her dream with momentum. As the day progressed, she engaged with families, sharing stories of the kids and their journeys, the laughter and resilience echoing through the bakery. But with every high, there often came a challenge. As they wrapped up, a man approached Aisha, his expression serious. Excuse me, I am the landlord of this building. We need to talk. Aisha's stomach twisted as she exchanged worried glances with Clara and Sarah. Is everything okay? She asked, her voice shaking slightly. We were raising rents in the area, and I wanted to give you a heads up, he said bluntly. You'll have to adjust your budget accordingly if you want to keep this space. The weight of his words settled over Aisha like a storm cloud. How much will it increase? She asked, her voice trembling. About 30%. It is becoming harder to maintain the building, he replied, his tone devoid of empathy. You have a month to figure it out. As he walked away, Aisha felt her heart sink. What are we going to do? She whispered, panic lacing her voice. Clara pulled her close, wrapping an arm around her shoulder. We'll figure it out, Aisha. You're not alone in this. We'll work together to find a solution. But what if I have to close the bakery? What will happen to the kids? Aisha's voice cracked with emotion, the thought of losing everything she had built filling her with despair. Don't lose hope, Clara said firmly. You've built this community from the ground up. We'll rally support, come up with a plan, and find a way through this. Sarah, too, offered reassurance. We can hold more fundraising events, tap into local businesses for sponsorships. There are always options. We just need to explore them together. Aisha took a deep breath, the warmth of their support wrapping around her like a lifeline. Okay, you were right. I can't give up now, especially not for the kids. They need this space. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity as Aisha, Clara, and Sarah collaborated tirelessly. They reached out to local businesses, seeking donations and support for this summer camp initiative. Flyers were posted throughout the community, and social media campaigns sparked interest. On a particularly warm evening, they organized a community bake-off challenge, inviting families to compete in a friendly baking competition. The event drew crowds, filled with laughter, friendly banter, and the unmistakable scent of freshly baked goods wafting through the air. As participants showcased their creations, Aisha felt a rush of gratitude for the outpouring of support. She was surrounded by a community that believed in the impact of their mission to uplift, empower, and inspire. Hey, Aisha. Mick called out, her face smeared with icing as she proudly presented her cake. What do you think? Aisha knelt beside her, eyes wide with admiration. That looks amazing, Mia. You've really outdone yourself. Mia grinned, her confidence shining brighter than ever. As the competition continued, Aisha couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment wash over her. This was what she had envisioned, a joyful celebration of creativity and connection. As the night drew to a close, the bake-off raised significant funds, alleviating some of the financial strain Aisha faced as she fought to keep the bakery open. Clara and Sarah stood beside her, their eyes sparkling with excitement. We did it! Clara exclaimed, pulling Aisha into a tight hug. This is just the beginning, Aisha. I can feel it. Aisha looked out at the smiling faces of families and kids enjoying the event. Yes, it truly is. Thank you both for standing by me through this. Over the coming weeks, the community rallied around